The princely House of Massimo is historically one of the great aristocratic families of Rome, renowned for its influence on the politics, the church and the artistic heritage of the city. Legendary origins. The Massimo family is sometimes referred to as one of the oldest noble families in Europe, according to the Augustan historian Onofrio Panvinio in his work De Gente Maxima of 1556. The family descends in the male line from the ancient gens Fabia or Maximi of Republican Roman from Quintus Fabius Maximus, called Cunctator. When asked by Napoleon whether the family descended from Fabius Maximus, the then Prince Massimo famously replied, "Je ne saurais en effet le prouver, c'est un brute qui n'y court que depuis 1200 ans dans notre famille." The Massimo family is also said to have provided two popes to the Catholic Church, both saints, Pope Anastasius I, who denounced the Origenist heresy, and Pope Pascal I, who resisted the Frankish kings and was involved in one of the earliest attempts to Christianize Scandinavia. History. The current family's better documented history traces back to a Massimo who flourished c. 950, and is identified in the person of Leo de Maximis by 1012. Thereafter the family grew in influence among the Roman barons, and played a considerable part in the history of the city in the Middle Ages, producing numerous cardinals, ambassadors, and civil and military leaders. Massimo served as Rome's chief conservator, a post held by several subsequent members of the family. Luca Massimo was granted the title Baron di Pistoia in 1544, and Fabrizio Camillo Massimo of the Arsili branch of the family became Marquis di Roccasecca in 1686. Both titles heritable by primogeniture. Two branches descended from sons of Angelo Massimo, who became First Lord of Intrafiamara in 1520, that of Tiberio, whose descendants became Dukes di Rignano and Calcata and died out in 1907, and that of Fabrizio Massimo, who obtained the lordship of Arsili in 1574. Massimiliano Camillo Massimo of the latter line was granted the title Prince di Arsili, heritable by primogeniture, by Pope Leo XII in 1826. His grandson, Carlo, 3rd Prince di Arsili, was made a Roman prince in 1854, which title also descends by primogeniture. His son Don Francesco, Prince Massimo, became postmaster of the Post Vaticane, and his grandson Don Leone, Prince Massimo, became Duke di Antiglicerado in 1904 by avuncular cession. Another grandson of the first Prince di Arsili, Don Filippo Massimo, inherited the fortune and adopted the marital surname of the prince's eldest daughter Donna Giuseppina Massimo, who was the widow and heiress of Ottavio Lancelotti, Prince di Loro. Although the senior line of Don Filippo's descendants retains the Lancelotti surname and title, his younger son Don Luigi resumed the paternal name in the combination of Massimo Lancelotti, and his descendants flourish, having been granted the Italian title Prince di Procedi in 1932. Although ancient and powerful, the post-medieval Massimo were not of sovereign family, yet heads of the family and other members contracted a remarkable number of marriages with members and descendants of reigning dynasties into the late 20th century, consistently so after the marriage in 1765 of papal postmaster Camillo Francesco Massimo, Marquis di Roccasecca, to Barbara Savelli Palombara, heiress to a handsome fortune. The son, the first Prince di Arsili, Massimiliano Camillo Massimo, married Christina di Sassonia in 1796, daughter of Xavier of Saxony, Prince of Poland and Lithuania, a younger son of King Augustus III of Poland. Massimiliano's son, the second Prince Camillo Vittorio Massimo, married Princess Maria of Savoy-Carignano, became the first king of a united Italy in 1861. The third Prince di Arceli, Don Camillo Carlo Massimo wed Donna Francesca Lucchesi-Palli, a half-sister of the French legitimist pretender Henry, Count of Chambord, through her mother Princess Maria Carolina of Bourbon-Sicily, daughter of the Neapolitan King Francis I of the Two Sicilies and widow of Charles X of France's assassinated heir, Charles Ferdinand, Duke of Berry. They had two sons, Francesco Massimo, 4th Prince di Arceli, who married Donna Eleonora Brancaccio in 1895, and Don Fabrizio Massimo, who, in 1895, had been made Prince di Roviano and Duke di Antichi-Corrado by Italian royal decree, and in 1897 married Princess Beatrice of Bourbon, daughter of the Carlist pretender to the French and Spanish thrones, Carlos, Duke of Madrid. Don Fabrizio and the Infanta had no sons, and in 1904 he ceded the dukedom of Antichi-Corrado to his nephew Don Leone Massimo, son of his elder brother the 4th Prince di Arceli. Don Leone also became 5th Prince di Arceli in 1943, having in 1935 Wednesday Princess Maria Adelaide of Savoy-Genoa, daughter of Prince Thomas, Duke of Genoa and first cousin of then-reigning Victor Emmanuel III of Savoy, King of Italy. The Massimo tradition of royal intermarriage continued when, in 1989, Carlo Massimo, 6th Prince di Arceli, married Dona Eliza Osorio de Moscoso y Estania, daughter of Pedro, Duque de Montemar, whose paternal great-grandmother was HRH the Infanta Luisa Teresa de Bourbon-Cadiz, daughter of HRH the Infante Francisco de Paula of Spain by her marriage to José Osorio de Moscoso, Duque de Sessa. The princely family is represented by Fabrizio Massimo Brancaccio, Prince di Arceli and Prince di Triggiano, and Stefano Massimo, Prince di Roccasecca dei Volsci, whose heir is Don Valerio Massimo. On the 21st of May 2009, Prince Valerio reached the summit of Mount Everest. Significance: the family were major patrons of the arts, with the brothers Pietro and Francesco Massimo acquiring fame by protecting and encouraging the German printers Swanheim and Panarts, who came to Rome in 1467, where the first printed books in Italy were produced in the Massimo Palace. In the 17th century, Cardinal Camillo II Massimo was famous as the patron of both Velázquez and Poussin. In the 16th century, the Massimo were the richest of the Roman nobles. The Palazzo Massimo al Colon in Rome was built by the celebrated Sienese architect Baldassare Peruzzi by order of Pietro Massimo, on the ruins of an earlier palace destroyed in the sack of Rome in 1527. The curved facade is built on and dictated by the foundations of the stands for the Stadium Odeon of the Emperor Domitian. The interior ceilings and vestibules are elaborately ornamented with rosettes and coffered roofs. The entrance ceiling is decorated with a fresco by Daniele da Volterra, who represented life of Fabius Maximus. The chapel on the second floor was a room where the 14-year-old Paolo Massimo, son of Prince Fabrizio Massimo, was recalled briefly to life by St. Philip Neri on March 16, 1583. The interior of the palace is open to public only on that day each year when the family receive the cardinals and other high officials to honor the event. Other notable events in the palace of the 16th century include various intrafamilial murders. The palace is considered one of the most important early Renaissance Mannerist masterpieces and remains the principal residence of the family, along with the Massimo Castle in Arceli.